In the lifespan of Irish soccer, no game has generated as much publicity as this one. And the more publicity, the greater the demand for tickets. And those with tickets this afternoon really must feel like the chosen people. Seldom has a team in any sport had such a faithful following as this Irish team. The rapport between the 11 on the pitch and the collective 12th man on the terraces is a powerful force. Young Steve Staunton there, Ronnie Whelan, Chris Morris, Andy Townsend and Kevin Moran. Kevin pass fit this morning after a back injury last Wednesday. Tony Cascarino and John Aldridge now campaigning like Moran in Spain. The customers here have certainly had their money's worth since Jack Charlton began his reign. Here at Lansdún Road, the record reads, played 15, won 10, drawn 4, lost only 1. President of Ireland, Dr. Patrick Hillary, with Fran Fields, the President of the Football Association of Ireland, and Harry Cavan, the President of the Irish Football Association, and of course Senior Vice President of FIFA. Norman Whiteside, the skipper of Northern Ireland, introducing his players. Alan McDonald and David McCreery and young Michael O'Neill. Mal Donaghy, Colin Clarke. And a tremendous atmosphere, as Ray and John Giles have been saying in the studio. Certainly in my lifetime, I don't remember any such atmosphere for a soccer match. Mick McCarthy, Packie Bonner, Ray Houghton. Young Stephen Staunton at 20, the youngest man on the team. And there you are, with our camera right in there as the introductions are made. Harry Cavan meeting the players of the Football Association of Ireland, and a special word for Scouser John Aldridge. The Irish twin strikers together in your picture. In terms of age and appearances, this Republic of Ireland side is one of great experience. Despite the presence of 20-year-old Stephen Staunton, the average age is as high as 28 years, and the starting 11 has a total of 277 caps. Let's have a check on that starting 11. The experience of Packie Bonner there. Chris Morris at right back. The young county lad man Staunton. Iron Man McCarthy.
5 McDonald, 6 McCreery, 7 Wilson.
Andy Townsend. Ray Houghton back to Busy B along the right hand side.
Whiteside, 11 Dennison.
And Kevin Sheedy playing wide on the left. And the man with the Midas touch as far as Ireland is concerned, Jack Charlton. Kevin Moran. Bad knock on the back in a match last week in Spain. Missed the weekend's league game. But it has to be a very serious injury if Kevin Moran is going to miss a game. A check on the side that Billy Bingham has chosen, and he certainly has chosen a big surprise in the number 1 shirt. 32-year-old George Dunlop. His first match since against Yugoslavia in 1987 and coming in for his 4th cap. Mal Donaghy, vastly experienced. Alan McDonald likewise, and David McCreery in his 63rd cap today. Young Michael O'Neill of the vast talent. Clarke, a strong centre forward, and Norman Whiteside, whose very presence can inspire those around him. A mighty player, Norman Whiteside, played in the World Cups 7 years ago, the World Cup final, and he's still only 24. What can Whiteside do today to influence Northern Ireland? Will there be some physical confrontations between himself and Mick McCarthy? It's a distinct possibility. The morning was wet and raining in Dublin as we watched Pietro, the Italian referee, get ready for everything. Wet morning in Dublin, but it's dried up now. Pitch has a lush covering of grass. Most of the players to whom I spoke are happy with the playing surface. Maybe just a trifle long the grass, but none of the players are complaining. The reason for the delay of the kick-off is very simple. It is not kick-off time yet. It's 1 o'clock. It's the scheduled kick-off time, and we reckon it's just 1 minute to that. Kevin Moran, another chance to have a better look at him this time. Now 33 years old, and of course an All-Ireland medal winner in Gaelic football with Dublin. His 46th international cap today. What a great representative he has been. And the second top scoring Irish player too. 6 international goals. Mick McCarthy. Today, Mick is earning his 38th international cap. For George Dunlop, it's only a 4th international, but he too was in the World Cup finals like Norman Whiteside in 1982 in Spain, as reserve, of course, for the now retired great Pat Jennings. It's now become a well-worn cliche regarding this game, but it truly is the most important game ever undertaken by the Republic of Ireland. This is Mal Donaghy, and a first touch for George Dunlop. Colin Clarke, Kevin Moran. That's Stephen Staunton. Back to Packie Bonner. The big Donegal man wearing his 34th cap today. Robbie Dennison, Colin Clarke. That's Mick McCarthy with him. And Morris has got back to cover. That's Worthington raiding up the left, and he's good to cross the ball on his left foot. Well claimed by Bonner. There's a small warning there of the danger of Worthington raiding up the left side. And Whiteside's challenge on Houghton is a foul. And in the first minute of the game, referee Pietro is speaking to Norman Whiteside. And it looks like a card. Well, Big Norman has left his calling card very early in the game. And that has incensed the Republic of Ireland crowd. They're baying for Whiteside as early as this in the game. But Mick Byrne has worked the magic, and Ray Houghton is back on his feet. Confirmation of the yellow card for Norman Whiteside. And now the atmosphere is even greater. There's some pushing on Tony Cascarino in there. Well, it's academic now. Whelan had the final touch. Tony Cascarino, perhaps a little bit pushed there as he went in, and this is 17th international. Although there's quite a bit of derision among the crowd now, it's got to be said that when Northern Ireland appeared here on the pitch before the game, they got a very warm reception indeed. Warm and good-natured. Worthington back to George Dunlop. He's got Fleming wide on the right if he needs him, but this is all set up for kick it as far as you can. That's Moran. Foul on Colin Clarke. Clarke from QPR. Moran now campaigning in Spain. Sporting Houghton. That's Mal Donaghy to take the free kick, number 4. Donaghy, 63rd international today for Northern Ireland. And he's aiming across at Alan McDonald, his centre-back partner is up there. That's McDonald going for it, but pushing on the back of Tony Cascarino, who'd come back to cover him. Alan McDonald scored 1 goal in his previous 23 caps for Northern Ireland. Packie Bonner, Glasgow Celtic. Handball. Senora Delia. He knows it's a tough match for him today, but I think he's made his intentions very clear with that early booking for Whiteside. That's Colin Clarke. Drops down to David McCreery, had the pop, and McDonald has stayed up there with the front players. Morris, Ronnie Whelan. Whelan looks for Houghton. Got in behind the defence, Houghton. That's Worthington with them, number 3. Ray Houghton with the throw himself. Morris has just gone in and took Dennison with him. And Norman Whiteside clears it. Rather rugby fashion up along that side. What a tough guy he is too. What a very good player too. Mick McCarthy looking for the long throw. Northern Ireland didn't deal too well with that. Worthington was there, McDonald was there, and McCreery was there. And neither of them could get a clean clearance. It's a corner kick to the Republic of Ireland. Kevin Moran is up. Mick McCarthy is up. A lot of movement around the box. Well claimed by Dunlop. He's not the biggest of goalkeepers, but he claimed that with a lot of authority. Clarke and Moran again. It's going to be a good duel in the air between those two. Michael O'Neill, Danny Wilson, Gary Fleming. Here's O'Neill again, but too much pace on the ball and a goal kick for the Republic. The sun shines at Lansdowne Road. And there really is a terrific atmosphere, and a good sporting one too. Flick on by Cascarino. Aldridge trying to get in, but Donaghy got the tackle. This is Stephen Staunton, number 3. The ball just spun away from Ray Houghton. That's Moran. Moran to Staunton. McCreery's covering, so is Fleming. Looked like a foul by McCreery. And that's been the decision of the referee too. Now, we'll wait till Mick McCarthy gets up. Kevin Moran's gone into the box as well. So 2 Ireland centre-backs are in the Northern Ireland penalty area. Nicely pulling out with the foot. In went McCarthy, rising very high for it. Ronnie Whelan couldn't fly it back into the area. And McCarthy went like an Australian rules footballer in the air for that. Here he is again. Another good solid throw in there. Kevin Moran was up. Way by Danny Wilson. Back in by Ronnie Whelan. Here's Houghton. Tripped by Worthington. And that's the second foul on Ray Houghton in the course of the first 8 minutes of this game. The first one by Whiteside, this one by Worthington. Interesting that Worthington quite cleverly handed a tin can to the referee. Oh, it's a bad late challenge. The referee reckons that he was in the movement of going for the ball and does not card him. But there was a can on the pitch there. In by Whelan. It was tremendous power across the goal. Here's Houghton again. Whelan. Cascarino just flicked it across the sole of his boot, but Sheedy wasn't close enough to make contact. Staunton, that's Michael O'Neill threatening. Young Michael O'Neill, just 20 years old like Staunton, and this is his 12th international. 1 goal in the previous 11 for Northern Ireland. Well, more pensive, intention-packed than excited, I think. It's a game that's been played so far pretty well in the year. There are a lot of heading duels. And a lot of ball out of play too, it's got to be said. A game that's, thus far anyway, searching desperately for some pattern. This is Staunton here for the Republic. Onto the head of Fleming. That's Whelan. Look at all the high challenges and all the times the ball's in the air. Here's Whiteside. Can he throw it down? And in came Cascarino to clip at Whiteside. Here's Worthington. Very good crosser of a ball. Looking for Colin Clarke. Now the referee just might have a word with Tony Cascarino for that rather blatant charge on Whiteside. But there's no doubt Whiteside is a target out there. Cascarino was after him that time. Another very good goal kick by Packie Bonner. Here's David McCreery chasing up his Andy Townsend. Nobody's allowed to dwell on the ball at all. It's a game totally without shape. Hard, physical battle. Gary Fleming here for the kick for Northern Ireland. McCarthy rises, McCarthy wins. Flicked away by Andy Townsend. That's Ronnie Whelan conceding the throw-in. Danny Wilson here. Colin Clarke with Mick McCarthy. Here's Kevin Sheedy. Nice little ball to Aldridge. Foul by Worthington. Kevin Moran, they take the free kick for the Republic of Ireland. In case you've just joined us on this transmission, it's no score at Lansdowne Road. Whelan here for the Republic. Here's Sheedy. Dennison. Wilson. Oh, he did well to get out of that. Whiteside. Worthington. Closed down by Whelan. And has to go all the way back to Dunlop. Good play, Ronnie Whelan. They've been playing 13 and a half minutes. Dunlop has not conceded one, neither has Packie Bonner. We haven't seen much of Colin Clarke in this, thanks to McCarthy and mostly Moran. Here's Danny Wilson. Robbie Dennison. Now here's Clarke. Mick McCarthy getting out to him. And Clarke went right underneath the spine of McCarthy, and that's a foul. Colin Clarke, QPR. And the highest one today from Bonner. Morris got in the challenge on Dennison and forced the winger to play a bad ball. Now it's Townsend. And the number of times the ball's been given away by both teams in this game is quite remarkable. And if they don't give it to each other, they give it to the touchline. Staunton. Cascarino. Held it up well. Gives it to Sheedy. That's a good cross, but there's nobody for once reading on the right. Morris is late arriving, manages to keep it in. Now it's Houghton. Back to Morris. Good thoughtful play by Ray Houghton then. He did very well. And continues the Irish attack. Credit Morris and Houghton for that. Kevin Moran. Staunton must make himself available for this and go all the way, and that he's done. Well, he fouled all right, but the intentions were good and very positive from Stephen Staunton. He really went at it then. "16 minutes gone in the game, and one thing you've got to say about it, there's no holding back by any individual. That's the score, which is no score. Republic of Ireland 0, Northern Ireland 0. Colin Clarke's little flick on, Mick McCarthy gets the toe cap to it. This is Donaghy. And everybody up ahead of Dunlop is congregated in a tight little circle in the centre of the field. Just watch it when the ball lands. Staunton. Worthington. Whelan. Cascarino is in the clear. That's Donaghy ambling across to him. Now Dennison. Houghton for Ireland. Good little header by John Aldridge, the man who's desperately seeking to get on the goal trail for Ireland. And he hasn't been much closer than that in the past. It was Cascarino who made the play on the left. It was a lovely little header by Aldridge. Looking for his second international goal, and this is his 27th international. Number 2 is Gary Fleming, number 5 Alan McDonald. And look at it again. Good play by Tony Cascarino. The Northern Ireland marking wasn't the best as Houghton got it across. This is Gary Fleming, number 2. Alan McDonald, up in the air it goes again. There really shouldn't be a law against playing the ball along the ground, but most players out there seem reluctant to do so. Moran again beating Clarke in the air. Worthington skying it. Here's McDonald. The Republic support is not too happy with the passing back, but you cannot blame the Northern Ireland players. In this case, Alan McDonald. Moran and Clarke again. Clarke wins this one. But there's plenty of cover behind, and it's Morris who gives it to Bonner. Now Donaghy. Whiteside. There's a hand up there from Ronnie Whelan. And a high tackle then in retaliation by Whiteside. It's got to be said that Whelan was sinking an arm into Whiteside when he went for the ball. But meantime, following the ball, Mick McCarthy gives it to Packie Bonner. Small little word of threat from Whelan to Whiteside and vice versa. Whelan couldn't get there before Michael O'Neill, and a goal kick for Packie Bonner. There's Ronnie Whelan now, really getting stuck in with Norman Whiteside. But I think it was more huff and puff than actual contact. Danny Wilson. That's McCarthy covering behind the back four. Makes it easy for Bonner. Okay. Billy Bingham on the Northern Ireland bench. Man has been at 3 World Cup final tournaments. 1 as a player, 2 as a manager. Cascarino knocking it on. That's Fleming and Alan McDonald hoofing it away. And the Republic of Ireland bench, Paul McGrath on it, but of course will not be playing today. Kevin Moran to Mick McCarthy, and Chris Morris is in his right if he wants him, but he doesn't. Looking for Cascarino, foul, McDonald. Tony Cascarino made his debut against Switzerland 4 years ago. Referee wants the game to be played. He's done well, Mr. Delia. Clarke getting the better of Moran. But apart from a couple of crosses by Nigel Worthington from the left-hand side, Northern Ireland posed no threat at all. Although as against that, George Dunlop has not exactly been extended in the Northern Ireland goal either. Here's Stephen Staunton. Made his debut 1 year ago against Tunisia. That's Alan McDonald who cleared it. Houghton put it in, and Donaghy puts it out. Morris for the Republic. To Houghton. Worthington is with him. So is Dennison. Cross by Whelan, in goes Cascarino, and Dunlop is in there, challenged by Sheedy. Call on the goalkeeper. Here's to look at it again. Cascarino's height caused the problem. Dunlop came to gather it, and there was the foul on him. But didn't he do well to regain the ball? Moran, or rather McCarthy that time, taking Clarke. And this time Moran goes over to cover Michael O'Neill. Foul by Moran. Free kick Northern Ireland, and they're dangerous from these sort of situations. Worthington usually takes them from the left-hand side, and they bring McDonald up, and Whiteside will come to the other side of the box. That's precisely what is happening. In goes the cross. McDonald's raiding far post. It came off McCarthy's head. It's a corner kick to Northern Ireland. The Irish skipper McCarthy still pretty quiet. They don't know whether to celebrate prematurely or not. And that's the view that the corner taker will have. Holding up easily for Packie Bonner without a challenge in sight. Dennison's corner, easy meat for Bonner. Aldridge got a nice little flick on. Well played by Nigel Worthington, he did well there. Donaghy gives it back to him. And a foul by Whelan on Worthington. Ronnie Whelan today is 36th international. And Nigel Worthington in his 27th. About 20 minutes to half-time. And Michael O'Neill got in behind Mick McCarthy, and Bóthar did well to make the block. And personally, I thought McCarthy was holding on to Michael O'Neill. Referee didn't see it that way. Maybe we'll get a chance to see it ourselves later on, but Northern Ireland keep on the pressure. Fleming, good ball to Michael O'Neill again, good cross. Bóthar's lost it. And coming in on the far side, would you believe it, Dennison lost it. Oh, Northern Ireland had a super chance on the double. Fleming here for Northern Ireland, and the Republic's defence was in diabolical trouble then. Young Michael O'Neill is the one who's causing the problems. Here's a look at the first one. As it came in, watch McCarthy with Michael O'Neill. As the ball came in behind, did he pull onto him? I think he might have, you know. And then Northern Ireland had a second chance in that same attack. Bonner lost the ball. Dennison couldn't put it in the net. And the score remains 0-0. Whelan's free kick, Whiteside's header. This is Staunton. The number 11 there was the man who had the chance and couldn't put it away. Northern Ireland certainly will be ruining that chance. I said earlier on, the Republic supporters didn't know in what frame of mind to take the match. Well, certainly hearts were in mouth then, that's for sure. Less the Northern Ireland supporters, those lucky enough to get the few tickets available to them. Houghton, pricked down by Morris, down to Aldridge. Morris again, out towards Houghton. The best he could do was keep it in play, and it's knocked away by Worthington. Well killed by Michael O'Neill. What a talent this young man has. Very impressed with Michael O'Neill. I really am. He's a very good player, only 20. That's the Northern Ireland number 8. This is Chris Morris with the throw. Pushing on the back. Mal Donaghy and John Aldridge. There's Donaghy. Now, Kevin Moran's gone forward, but hit a little too hastily and certainly much too near the goalkeeper, and a waste. Morris, Wilson, Fleming, Clarke. This is Kevin Sheedy. Stephen Staunton. Donaghy was pushing Aldridge again. And Aldridge is leaning in just enough to force the foul. Well, I think that Aldridge has been a little too cute for Donaghy in a couple of those instances there, particularly that last one. Sheedy's at the ball, Houghton's at the ball, and Staunton's at the ball. Sheedy aims it towards McCarthy's head. But the presence of McDonald was enough to put McCarthy off. Colin Clarke back helping in his own 6-yard area. And now, are we going to see another long one from Mick McCarthy? Probably. Cascarino's header. David McCreery flicks it away. Some chance for a handball from the crowd at the other end of the field. A foul there on Michael O'Neill. That's offside against Robbie Dennison. Italian team of officials today: Pietro Delia, the referee, and Carlo Longhi and Alessandro Pezzella, the linesman. McCarthy, Cascarino trying to get in the header. That's Alan McDonald booting it up in the air. Staunton with Clarke. Fleming out of play now. Just over half an hour gone at Lansdowne Road. A game with a lot of effort, 100% commitment, but not a great deal of constructive football. Still no goals. 15 minutes to the break. What seems a long first half. Staunton. Donaghy's cleared. Dennison. Michael O'Neill, who is the most accomplished looking player on the field. Ray Houghton had the block down on Worthington's clearance. Worthington played in the last World Cup final tournament in Mexico. And we're going to have a card here for delaying by Nigel Worthington. Worthington a bit lucky, I think, to escape censure on for the tackle on Ray Houghton earlier on, but this time for the offence of delaying play, he is carded. So the W formation have been yellow carded here for Northern Ireland: Whiteside and Worthington. Sounds like an old-time music hall act. Ray Houghton, the free kick. And again, they wait for Mick McCarthy to get down. That's the delay for the kick. He can take it now. Mick has arrived. Goes towards Cascarino's head. Cascarino was pushing. And he looks first to the referee and then to the heavens. But he was pushing all right, Tony Cascarino. Between Moran and Clarke. Clarke with the tuck on. That's Whelan who responds quicker than anybody else to nurse it back to Packie Bonner. Alan McDonald. Townsend for Sheedy, and Fleming tidied it up for Northern Ireland. Good play by Gary Fleming, saved Northern Ireland's flushes then. Pushed by McCarthy, referee lets it go. Played on by Aldridge towards Houghton as offside. Clarke winning quite a considerable amount of ball off Moran, but he's winning it halfway inside the Republic's half, so there's no danger when he does get the flick on. Dennison with Morris. Dennison still getting onto it, and it's gone for a goal kick. Robbie Dennison. Wolverhampton Wanderers. As you can see, 6 caps. Good dead ball kicking by Bonner. Good heading by Moran. There's McDonald. Staunton. Cascarino. The referee just waited a moment to see would advantage ensue. It didn't. And then he gave the free to Cascarino and the Republic of Ireland. The referee has had a good match. Again, there'll be a slight delay on the free kick whilst Moran and McCarthy make their way forward. That they've done now. So there are 8 Republic of Ireland players in around there. That's a little too near Dunlop. So just over 10 minutes to half-time. No goals at Lansdowne Road. There've been a couple of chances on either side, just a couple. Northern Ireland's 2 best ones came within a half a minute of each other. And Aldridge had a header just wide, which was the Republic's best one. Staunton in a spot of bother there, pushed, I thought. But that's twice Michael O'Neill has been handed off in this game, and he's got no reward for it. This Irish defence is really walking the hot coals. Staunton comes in to recover what was initially his own error away back 4 or 5 passes ago. Staunton, Kevin Sheedy, and again Aldridge forcing the defender to concede something. Aldridge has had a good match. How we'd all like to see him get on the score sheet though. Staunton, off Fleming, Townsend.
Please ask the people who are sitting on the wall on the south terrace and indeed on the north terrace as well to get down from the wall. Thank you.
Just a request for some spectators to get off the wall. That it is dangerous, and we know only too well to the cost of football how dangerous collapsing walls have been in the past. Michael O'Neill did well. Here's Fleming, way by Sheedy. It's all so untidy, really is. Aldridge came out of that little clash with a small limp, but I think he'll run out of the pain. It's just a knock rather than an injury. Donaghy guilty of the foul then. Yes, the legs of John Aldridge. He did take a little knock, but it's just a little shin cracking. You play out of those, you get dozens of those in any game. Ronnie Whelan off Fleming, drops down to Cascarino, and just a little too far behind Townsend, but Townsend works away at it and wins a corner. The tenacity of Andy Townsend created that. Well done. Quick corner by Houghton to Staunton. rolls it along the sole of his boot across. McCarthy trying to get in a header, and away by Colin Clarke. Now it's between Michael O'Neill and Morris. Ray Houghton, or Ronnie Whelan rather, back to cover the danger of Dennison. Donaghy and Aldridge doing a lot of pushing. Most of it been done by Donaghy, mind you. Houghton looking for the quick throw. Morris. Houghton again. Whelan's come inside. Look for it. Good play, Ronnie Whelan. What's the decision? No, the referee is unimpressed. Ronnie Whelan has words to say in his own choice English, I should imagine. But the Italian referee doesn't want to know, and that's the reason why. Kevin Sheedy. Cascarino was just facing the wrong way when that ball was played forward. He was a little unlucky. Had he been even on the half turn, he might have got in then. Mick McCarthy's header. Fleming looks for Dennison. Here's Clarke with a chance. Moran just got the right side of him, and McCarthy completes it. Houghton, good play. Giving a runner to Cascarino. The big striding centre forward is beaten to the ball by Alan McDonald. Houghton, good spell here by the Republic. Nicked away then by Mal Donaghy, but another throw to the green shirts. Five minutes to half-time, still no score at Lansdowne Road. That's Moran's header. Mick McCarthy. Aldridge. Cascarino with a handball. Anyway, it's academic now because Nigel Worthington got the flick back. Colin Clarke breaks nicely for Danny Wilson. Wilson to Michael O'Neill. It's McCarthy, the challenger. Again, it's a lovely piece of play by O'Neill. To Colin Clarke, and Kevin Moran clears it for the Republic of Ireland. To John Aldridge, who took a knock there from David McCreery, but in turn McCreery took a knock. Fouled by Townsend, just biting away at Danny Wilson then. And we may have a bit of attention for David McCreery, who I'm glad to say sees the funny side of it. Inside the last 5 minutes of the first half. And Alan McDonald up there with Tony Cascarino marking him. Fleming. Again, a spate of pushing and shoving in there. McDonald deemed to be guilty, and a free kick for the Republic of Ireland. Three minutes to half-time, and now the encouragement for Ireland. Well, both teams could take the encouragement from that because it's Ireland against Ireland. But we know who they're shouting for, I think. Here's Staunton. Dunlop's ball, if he can make it. Flick back in, and it's in the net! Ronnie Whelan. Ronnie Whelan for the Republic of Ireland, and the crowd have truly gone bananas. cross by Staunton. It should have been Dunlop's ball, it really should. He came for it, flailed at it, and it dropped down on the loose to Whelan. Goal. Staunton with the cross. Dunlop came, there was a lot of crowding in there, a lot of traffic. Dropped to Whelan, he did well. What about the defender looking out, going by him? Houghton doing a bit of right back work. Ronnie Whelan's third international goal. He scored a great one in the European Championships last year. That one might turn out to be even sweeter. Chris Morris knocking it away. Worthington. Looking for the left, but Michael O'Neill is forced to go back all the way with this sort of, to use a basketball term, full court press by Jack Charlton's team. And that's the hero of the moment, Ronnie Whelan, coming up to half-time with just a half a minute to half-time. Mick McCarthy gets in a trusty boot. The crowd is celebrating now. They're singing too. They'd lost their vocal cords for a long time, but now they're making up for it. Lansdowne Road, bathed in sunshine. Doris Day never sung it like that. The World Cup final draw will be held in Rome on the 9th of December. Will the Republic of Ireland be in that draw? What a day that will be. Norman Whiteside, the referee calls for the ball, the long whistle, and the teams take a break. One goal separates the teams at half-time. They're the Republic of Ireland supporters. They're in happy mood, but none are happier than this man, the goal scorer Ronnie Whelan, in the 43rd minute. It has to be said, a defensive error, but it also has to be hastened to be said, a good strike by Whelan. A game well handled by Pietro, and a game in which the ball certainly didn't often soil the grass at Lansdowne Road. A lot of aerial play, but the Republic supporters won't be worried. The half-time scoreline, Republic of Ireland 1, Northern Ireland 0. So John Aldridge and Tony Cascarino at the centre spot. Andy Townsend just behind them. That's the legs of Colin Clarke, you see, with the white socks. Referee just waiting for the Irish substitutes who are warming up to get off the playing area. That they've done, and the game is on. Whiteside. Dennison getting by Morris. Houghton is the next in line, and it's a corner kick to Northern Ireland. And I mentioned Norman Whiteside. Well, immediately he made that attacking pass, and now he's gone into the 6-yard area awaiting this corner. Alan McDonald and Mal Donaghy, the twin centre-backs, are forward for this. Wilson plays the short one. Whiteside. Oh, he did well there, Whiteside. Wilson has a blast. Here's Dennison, and that took a deflection. Whiteside did well to hold up the play there. That's the shot coming across, blasting in, and did take a deflection off the Northern Ireland player. Big man from Donegal, from Kidu, Packie Bonner. Chris Morris, Ray Houghton, and Norman Whiteside was in on him again. Whiteside booked earlier on in the game for a challenge on Houghton, and they smile at each other, almost as though they expect it of each other. Here's John Aldridge. Worthington came to help Donaghy. Mick McCarthy to take it, and everybody knows what that means. A long one. Aldridge awaits it. Instead that Mick throws it to the head of Colin Clarke with such pace on it that Clarke could do nothing but concede the corner. 3 Worthington, 6 McCreery at the back post. Moran comes forward for it, Kevin Moran. 7 is Andy Townsend. The taker is Kevin Sheedy. Came off Norman Whiteside, and Sheedy can stay where he is and put in another corner. Whiteside with Gary Fleming at that post. That's Mick McCarthy, Mal Donaghy, the talking Northern Ireland player, and Kevin Sheedy with the corner. Way by Whiteside. Whelan, good ball. Sheedy, Kevin Moran and Cascarino in there. Cascarino! Cascarino has scored for the Republic of Ireland, and now the sing-song can begin in earnest. That's the score, 2-0. A goal to be remembered. Terrific piece of play. And the long lingering cross, and Cascarino got off. It was perfect. His 5th international goal. For Northern Ireland now, to say it's uphill is putting it mildly. Here's young Michael O'Neill, but Ronnie Whelan is back there for the Republic. John Aldridge, Aldridge to Houghton, and Morris has come to make an outside right for him. Aldridge dashing through the middle. Morris looks for Aldridge. Aldridge is there! It should have been 3-0. John Aldridge must be asking himself one more time, what have I got to do to find the onion sack for Ireland? That was a great play, a great run off the ball by Aldridge. Morris on the right wing did it all perfectly. It was just right for Aldridge. That near, that near. That was a miss, but here's one that counted. Sheedy's corner kick. The clearance only came out this far. Great ball by Whelan it was. And Sheedy had the chance to ply it back in again. Cascarino went higher than anybody at Lansdowne. Take it out. O'Neill, McCarthy, Aldridge. Lovely layoff to Houghton. Houghton just showed a little too much of it to Worthington. And Worthington is penalised. It is Houghton. And the anxious faces, not as anxious as they were an hour ago. Morris, Houghton got in there. Linesman flagged as the referee blew. And Houghton was the man who was dumped in by the hardy, no pulling punches Whiteside. Referee right there to see it. This Italian referee. And talking about Italy, it certainly got a little nearer now. Kevin Sheedy with the free kick, and this could be fraught with danger for Northern Ireland. Tony Cascarino's away at the back post. There's a lot of movement. That's towards Cascarino. Too hard for him. A lot of pushing in there. It was Aldridge's header. Now Northern Ireland had to come out. They had to leave a bit of a gap, and that's been punished now by the Republic. The flag of Italy, and that's a flag that these Irish supporters hope to be seeing plenty of in less than a year's time. All together now. What will be, will be. They have no doubt where they're going. It all sets up the visit to Malta on the 15th of November as a day of celebration. And I'm sure thousands of these fans will go there to do just that. The Northern Ireland heads are beginning to hang a little now. They're out of the World Cup, of course, and they're out of this game too. Sheedy to Houghton. Houghton across for Aldridge, and incredibly it's gone behind. If Nigel Worthington knocked that behind for a corner, he should be a circus act. And one more time Aldridge is denied. It is Ray Houghton with this incision. Just watch what happens here. That's an incredible save, isn't it, by Worthington? Right from under the bar, he kept it out. Sheedy's corner. Blast across and off the post. Here's Townsend. McCarthy's up there. And George Dunlop. It's like a target setter in a fairground, Dunlop, in the last 10 minutes. Here's what happened. Sheedy's corner. Then right across and off the post. Oh, so near. Colin Clarke, Robbie Dennison to the head of Staunton. Worthington, Moran, Houghton, and Jack Charlton's marvellous sequence continues for Ireland. Jackie Charlton, who won a World Cup medal in 1966, of course, with England. That's Morris Setters there. Jack, all you can see of him is his cap, his trusty cap, a lucky cap too. His 16th match here at home in charge of Ireland. Looks like 11 wins and 4 draws and only 1 defeat. It's a remarkable sequence by any standards.
Well done, Chris. Looking great. Get that minute down. Well done.
Northern Ireland look at spent force now. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Where earlier on they were winning challenges in the air, they're losing them now. Where earlier on they made the constructive pass, it's going to the opposition now. And Big Norman Whiteside, to whom they look for so much inspiration and drive, has not been furnishing it today. Houghton. Ray Houghton, the busy, bubbling bee of Ireland's right wing. Good ball win there by Tony Cascarino. Stephen Staunton to Ronnie Whelan, his Liverpool clubmate, and up the line, and Sheedy couldn't get the hair to it. Colin Clarke, who's battled in vain, but valiantly for Northern Ireland. There he is, QPR, Colin Clarke. A good centre forward and a good striker. There was no supply today, unable to show his wares in that department. Townsend, referee played advantage. Cascarino, Townsend again. Stop was made by Donaghy and Townsend again. Oh, it's a very good piece of play by Andy Townsend. Now Kevin Sheedy. Sheedy to Houghton. Yes! Ray Houghton, splendid goal. Terrific play by the Republic of Ireland. And that's what they think of Ray Houghton. Big question marks must be put against the name of George Dunlop. But Ray Houghton, no, the Irish fans won't be worried as we look at the scoreline that says 3-0. And here's how it happened. Great ball win initially, remember, back by Cascarino. And lovely control by Houghton. He looked up, picked the spot perfectly, 3-0. Morris, Townsend, what a marvellous piece of work Townsend did in that build-up. Sheedy to Houghton. It's the same goal, by the way, 3-0. Ray Houghton, the scorer, his third international goal in the 11th minute of the second half, this one. And so, for the first time in the history of the Football Association of Ireland, a place in a World Cup finals looks on now. Whiteside trying to take the skin off the ball. Worthington, McCarthy's header. Morris playing it forward. Houghton. If Ray Houghton wasn't a professional footballer, he might consider being a marathon runner, as he really gets through some. He is absolutely vital to Jack Charlton's match plan, Ray Houghton. Whelan. Houghton. Morris square inside him is McCarthy if he wanted him. And that was the ball, but he gave it away, and it's a goal kick to Northern Ireland. Well, the Irish fans can hardly believe it. And Big Jack just the other side of Morris Sellers. Noel King just on the other side of Jack Jordan. Celebration time in Dublin, celebration time in Ireland. It's amazing how many people don't have to work at midday on a Wednesday, isn't it? And we believe we're going live to so many schools around Ireland as well. The television's been brought into the classroom today and also into the workplace around the country. It's a very, very special day in the history of soccer in this country. The concert is on in full. Let's go down to our effects microphone and pick up some of this Que Sera. Three goals to nil at Lansdún Road. Republic of Ireland victory was forecast by just about everybody, but 3-0, not by too many. And it's not over yet. Northern Ireland are demoralised, disjointed, and unlike them, really playing without any great spirit now. They've thrown in the towel in earnest. John Aldridge, Chris Morris, Ronnie Whelan. Where's the marking? Where's the covering? It's gone. Sheedy, Cascarino. His goal was so vital. That's second goal. Staunton. Aldridge is in. Aldridge is fouled by Worthington. But I rather think, and I think John might admit it, that he turned into the Northern Ireland fullback hoping to get a penalty. We might be able to have a chance, a look at that and see, did Aldridge try to manufacture his own penalty kick? Here it's coming up. Watch. Worthington and Aldridge. Yes, he did. Gary Fleming. Nobody coming for the ball. It's become a pretty static Northern Ireland team now. Young Michael O'Neill, who blossomed so much in the first half, we've seen nothing of him in the second. And really they're queuing up to cross the ball now for the Republic. Good tackle by Alan McDonald, and Wilson makes the clearance. Ronnie Whelan to Mick McCarthy, and you've got to count the players now to make sure Northern Ireland has the same number as the Republic. 3 goals to 0. On by Tony Cascarino. An announcement has just been made over the PA here to congratulate all the spectators at Lansdún Road today for their sporting good behaviour. And certainly I'd like to join in that sentiment too. It's a pleasure to come to a football match and see that people can cheer and sing and yet behave themselves. And it's largely because of this man's wishes, Jackie Charlton. The rapport between the team and the spectators is marvellous. This man must be having nightmares. George Dunlop. Colin Clarke for Danny Wilson. It's a run for Michael O'Neill. The one ray of hope they have up there. Stopped by Mick McCarthy. Kevin Sheedy. O'Neill again. Here's Wilson. That's a free kick, I think. He's not giving it. They had the advantage and it didn't accrue. Sheedy worked hard there for Ireland. And he's had one of his better games in a Republic shirt today. Three goals to 0. 1-0 at half-time. Ronnie Whelan a couple of minutes before the break. And then 2 goals in the space of 8 minutes in the second half. The 3rd and 11th by Cascarino and Houghton have left the match as it is. Fairview, Galway. All counties and all towns and villages represented in the flags and banners here at Lansdún Road today. Colin Clarke, Ronnie Whelan, nicked by Norman Whiteside. Now remember, Whiteside is on a yellow card since the first minute of the game. And his reputation is as big as his talent, there's no doubt about that. But interestingly enough, a very popular pro among his fellow players. Ray Houghton. And here's Whiteside. He's afraid of nobody nor nothing. Staunton. Cascarino and McDonald. "20 minutes gone, 25 to go. That's Staunton, that's Houghton, and McDonald knocks it across. And look how near again that John Aldridge was. I mean, really, John Aldridge is no more than a whisker, at least 3 times. Just watch this again. No more than a whisker from getting on the score sheet, not once, but a few times. He was just a little static as that ball was crossed and just didn't get off his back foot quickly enough. Grim determination still of Whiteside. Aldridge in on the line again as Sheedy's corner comes off Dennison. Sheedy's back again. Nice little ball by Sheedy. In go the heads. It was Cascarino who got the final touch. It's a goal kick. Kevin Sheedy on a breakdown of corner kick play has crossed a lot of good ball like this. That was Cascarino's header. Colin Clarke, Christopher Morris. John Aldridge is clipped by Whiteside, and the referee saw it and waved the play on. Whiteside to Dennison. McCarthy. Houghton, great out ball now. The crowd wishes Aldridge into the net. Well, one way or another, he was outnumbered there, but 4-1. That's a lovely shot there of John Aldridge. A happy footballer, but I should imagine a frustrated one too. Interesting today, that's Ray Houghton. What a great ball it was too. He's the man who created the chance, if chance it was. Interesting, I was thinking to myself there that with all the clashes that Norman Whiteside's been involved in today, he has not once come into contact with Mick McCarthy. Andy Townsend to Tony Cascarino. Gary Fleming with the throw. Danny Wilson. Kevin Moran's header to the foot of Stephen Staunton. Throw in to Northern Ireland. And so it continues this good sequence, we hope, of Irish teams in World Cup finals. 1982 they were there, Northern Ireland. 86 Northern Ireland, and looks like 1990 now, the Republic of Ireland. One more game to go, that in Valletta in Malta on the 15th of November. And they won't be without support there, that's for sure. Fleming. Whelan. That's a good ball. Houghton. Aldridge is in, and again he's denied. It's Cascarino. It's over the top. But the story here, the recurring story, is that of number 9, John Aldridge. I don't know the answer, John, nor does anybody else. It was a great piece of play by the effervescent Houghton, and that's Aldridge coming in. McDonald denied him then, and then it was Cascarino pumping it over the top. Meantime, Alan McDonald is on the ground, and Maurice Setters is off the bench. Hey! Donald's okay. Just 20 minutes to go now, Lansdowne Road. And of course, if the right result occurs in the NEP Stadium in Budapest later on today, well then, the Republic are in the finals. Clarke at the knock-on. Kevin Moran. Donaghy. David McCreery will go off the Northern Ireland team, and Colin O'Neill will come in. Billy Bingham has a congratulatory clap there for one of his great servants, David McCreery. Comes off, sits on the bench after having played 65 international matches for his team. Into the side comes Colin O'Neill, and for Colin O'Neill it's only a second international. Alan McDonald's free kick. Mick McCarthy's clearing header. Mal Donaghy. Gary Fleming. Kind of played all the way back, and Danny Wilson did well to recover it. Dennison. Now Townsend. Aldridge with the knock on. The covering player here is Donaghy, with the inevitable Houghton biting at his heels. This Ray Houghton truly is a remarkable player. I don't know how he keeps going, but he certainly doesn't spare himself. Game after game, week after week. Club and country. Stephen Staunton, a recent hat-trick hero for Liverpool, an unlikely thing. Now it's Aldridge. Oh, it's never going to cross that line, John. Good save, though, by George Dunlop. I look at it again. The header was down and looked perfect. Well claimed. Packie Bonner, who made the saves when it mattered in the first half to keep the Republic in contact with the match. Nothing to do since, but his work is done. Cascarino. A big push. Tony Cascarino, the man who made his debut in a match against Switzerland in September 1985. I remember that time the crowd in Dublin not quite knowing what to call him. Somebody called him Tony Cornetto. Well, maybe he'll have one of those in Venice next summer. Kevin Moran at the heart of the Irish defence with Mick McCarthy today. The pair of them, or between them, keeping David O'Leary out of the side. And so off Kevin Sheedy, a corner kick for Northern Ireland. Kevin Sheedy back there covering at the back post. You want to play for Jack Charlton, you don't spare yourself. Danny Wilson's cross. In went Colin Clarke, and the spectacular clearance was made by Ronnie Whelan. Now it's Whiteside, looking for crumbs of comfort in there, but his fellow pros not falling for that old dodge by Norman. And Andy Townsend made the clearance. A quarter of an hour to go then at Lansdowne Road. Colin Clarke reading, and Bonner read it all so well at his near post. What was virtually a solo attack by Colin Clarke. Colin Clarke looking for the crumb of comfort. He did well, he was all on his own. But Bonner had seen the writing on the ball. Well, for Republic of Ireland supporters, that's the good news. 3-0. Que sera, sera, as the fans have been singing. And we're going to have a yellow card here. Looks like John Aldridge. Aldridge in a little tangle there with Alan McDonald. Nigel Worthington in possession here. By the way, David O'Leary's getting ready at the Irish dugout. Worthington plays it back, left it dangerously close with both Houghton and Aldridge in their 27 internationals apiece, bearing down on it. Certainly David O'Leary is getting ready. David O'Leary, number 12, is 45th international cap today. And Stephen Staunton has been carrying a knock. It's coming off. Bit of Achilles tendon trouble, Stephen Staunton. And there's a marvellous reception for David O'Leary. This, a marvellous, warm reception for O'Leary. And I think equally for Jack Charlton.
And the substitution for Ireland coming on, number 12.
And is O'Leary going to left back? If it is, it's a new one for David.
He replaces Stephen Staunton.
Well, David O'Leary will remember this day when the Irish fans stood up to him when he came into the match and told him really what they thought of him and his contribution over the years under various Irish managers, not too often under Jack. Gary Fleming bears down on this. Fleming to Clarke. Clarke trying to channel it through. Jack Charlton, a centre-half himself, now has 3 centre-backs in the Irish back 4. Moran, McCarthy and O'Leary. And another great centre-back, injured and unable to play today, Paul McGrath. An embarrassment of riches in that area. Whiteside. Well, bit of a laugh here between David O'Leary and Norman Whiteside. I'm telling you about Norman. He throws himself about a bit, but goodness, his fellow pros don't hate him, do they? Kevin Wilson is about to come in, and Michael O'Neill will go off.
We have another Northern Ireland substitution coming on. It is number 16, Kevin Wilson, and he replaces
Kevin
number 8,
Wilson.
Michael O'Neill.
Two subs in for Northern Ireland. By the way, David O'Leary is not playing left back, as Kevin Moran has gone left back, and David O'Leary is playing centre back with Mick McCarthy. Aldridge, Townsend. That's a definite free kick. Just about 10 minutes to go now. The Irish back 4 is now Morris, O'Leary, McCarthy, Moran left back. Kevin Wilson here. Ronnie Whelan. George Dunlop's 4th international appearance for Northern Ireland today. And Dunlop has conceded 3 goals. Kevin Wilson trying to get away. Here's Worthington. Morris is in, and that's a foul by Morris. And a foul that deserves a yellow card. And that's precisely what he's getting. So despite the scoreline and the fact that time is running out, there's still a bit of bite in this game. And the teeth were sharp there, the cogs were, of Chris Morris. 9 minutes left at Lansdowne Road. Robbie Dennison, RK again, here he is. None the worse of the tackle. Colin O'Neill and the breakdown comes to Sheedy, looks for John Aldridge, but Mal Donaghy is there. The ball clearly didn't give Aldridge a 100% chance. Nonetheless, good play, Mal Donaghy. Kevin Wilson. Looked a bit like a handball, all right. Colin Clarke. This is Northern Ireland's best spell of this half. But it's all cosmetic, really. Colin Clarke getting in a shot. Packie Bonner makes it look easy. That's 2 saves Bonner's had from Clarke. That one was fairly easy, but 2 nonetheless from Clarke's lone hand attacking for Northern Ireland. It's a good turn. First of all, the dummy turn and then the good turn. Clarke now, by the way, been marked by David O'Leary. McCarthy doesn't miss much in the air. Ronnie Whelan, offside flag is up. And even then, John Aldridge didn't put it in the net. Aldridge is doing just about everything right. Goodness. It's amazing that the man just can't do it at this level. So there you are, 7 minutes left and 3-0 for the Republic of Ireland. Gary Fleming, Colin O'Neill, Alan McDonald, Colin Clarke again, and with him there, David O'Leary. David O'Leary, now 31 years old, and an Ireland international since he was in his mid to late teens. Houghton, the runner. Wilson. The adhesive gloves of Packie Bonner. Tony Cascarino's called for one on his head. Hit there. Well, the work appears to be done now. Cascarino got one of those marvellous goals that counted so much. The work is done. The passports are all but in order now. 5 minutes to go. Whelan to Houghton. Houghton to Whelan. Alan McDonald's header. That was Andy Townsend having a little bit of a cut there at Colin O'Neill. Whiteside takes the free to Danny Wilson. Danny Wilson has Gary Fleming on his right. Fleming to Donaghy. Alan McDonald. Norman Whiteside stretches for it, but it's gone behind, where Morris tidies up for the Republic. Moran to Ray Houghton, Houghton for Sheedy, but in came Worthington for the rob. Colin Clarke now, with him is David O'Leary and also Kevin Moran, and 2 centre-backs are better than one. Ah, this man runs and runs and still looks as if there's a bit left. For me, he's the key man, Ray Houghton, and the entire Jack Charlton game plan. Kevin Moran, John Aldridge, and it was Mal Donaghy who swept it away. To play the game that Charlton demands, you've got to have energy to burn. But Houghton appears to have enough for himself and then a bit left over. And it's vital. Here he is again. Kevin Moran. That's David O'Leary towards John Aldridge, who turns well. He didn't quite know whether to let it try and drop to his foot or do as he did. And Mal Donaghy has a word with him there. Now, here's all. Watch the way he delayed on this. Left the turn as late as possible. Seemed to do it right. But the ball was slow dropping and he had to go for the early header. request, as you probably heard, the rather distorted tannoy on your set there, was to say that the people were to stay off the pitch at the end. Sorry for that little hesitancy. I'm just being handed the award of the man of the match today. I'll leave you for a second or two. See what you make up your own minds as to who the Opal man of the match is today. If you said Ronnie Whelan, you picked the right man. Ronnie Whelan is the Opal man of the match, as selected by the journalist. And there he is, man of the match and scorer of that first golden goal. Here we go, last 2 minutes, and it's shades of Barry McGuigan, Sean Kelly, Stephen Roach, and the Irish soccer team all wrapped up in one. So now, it's all a celebration for the fans now. Time running out, Northern Ireland are spent. McCarthy's pass back taken by Kevin Wilson, and Dennison couldn't control it. First touch let him down. Packie Bonner either giving out to or consoling Mick McCarthy, but one way or another talking to the big man. Jack Charlton is off his seat. The fans are on their toes, and they feel, and we feel now, that the Republic of Ireland have made history and will reach the World Cup finals for the first time ever. It's not yet a certainty, but I think the celebrations can begin. These fans travel faithfully and loyally with this team, and most of all, they behave themselves, and that's the greatest of all their credits. Here's Kevin Sheedy, goal number 4 may be on, but denied by Norman Whiteside. I was saying how these fans have stood behind the team, and between them, the behaviour has been exemplary off and on the field, spectators and teams. I should imagine they'll go to Malta with no tension and celebrate there with the team they've supported. Jack Charlton is the man of the year. Marvellous, marvellous performance by Charlton's team again. Billy Bingham congratulates Jack Charlton just down below me. The Northern Ireland players to a man go to their opponents and congratulate them. And these fans acclaim their own side. Tony Cascarino's goal in the 3rd minute of the second half was the one that closed the big door. The Italian flag went flown because the referee today is Italian, but could that flag be the one that these Irish supporters and Irish team will see in the high summer of 1990? What's to stop them now? Heroes all. David O'Leary there is number 12 in the centre circle. Mick McCarthy is there with him. Ronnie Whelan, Packie Bonner, Chris Morris. It's a day of celebrations. You've got to feel delighted for David O'Leary too. He's got in for a little piece of the action. The 43rd minute of the first half, Ronnie Whelan, and then Tony Cascarino and Ray Houghton, and down there is a very happy Kevin Moran with George Hamilton.
Kevin, well done. Now, I know it's mathematically not absolutely certain, but after that, it must be.
I would think so. I think we've got to be 99.99% certain. It's a great feeling, really is, super, absolutely.
You were put to the pit of your collar in the first half, 2 chances that could have got in.
That's right, they had 2 chances which we cleared off the line. We were fortunate there in that instance, but we knew ourselves that in the first half we never played well, and Jack let us know that at half time, and in the second half I thought we played an awful lot better, a lot different.
Well, now we've got in here a man with no shirt at the moment. Tony Cascarino, I think we'll forgive you your appearance at this stage, having added yet another. What a day.
Yeah, it's a great day. we didn't play particularly well first half, but we showed second half that we were a good side.
And to cap it all, another Cascarino special.
Yeah, I'm pleased to get it. I do enjoy headers more than any other sort of goals. Just pleased for the result, really.
Was it as difficult as it appeared in the first half?
Yeah, I think they were quite happy to waste a bit of time and hopefully get a draw. But we plugged away, and in the second half we played ever so well.
Well, now your partner in attack has just joined us here. John Aldridge, I have to bring you, well done, and more commiserations about the fact that you're still not putting them away.
It's got beyond the joke now, I think. Very frustrating, I must admit, because had a couple of good chances and Lady Luck wasn't there again, but keep on going.
You'll forgive Lady Luck on this occasion, given what happened at the end of it all.
Oh, they swapped that result any time.
John, well done. David O'Leary's here. Now, David, a part in a marvellous occasion. It's been a long old career, and now you're in the World Cup.
Fantastic, fantastic. I know we didn't play particularly well, but the main thing today was the result, and we can play a lot better, but we got the result, and that's what matters.
Marvellous spirit still in the squad. Obviously, you didn't start the game, but you're smiling all over your face.
Well, it's just fantastic. I mean, the crowd are doing us just proud. Again, they were absolutely fantastic, and Italy, here we come, really.
Mick McCarthy, well done. You've got to the Northern Ireland shirt. I'm sure you'll treasure that as a memory, a memento of a day that you'll never forget.
Yeah, I treasure them. I treasure all the shirts that I've exchanged. This will be a special one because we've qualified for the World Cup today.
Whose is it? Turn around and we'll see.
He's number 2, I think.
Gary Fleming's shirt.
I wasn't certain, I just swapped it.
Any shirt will do on the day. This is one you're going to remember. Germany was wonderful, but Italy's going to be something else.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, we did more than anybody expected of us in Germany. Let's hope we can do even more in Italy. We'll look forward to it now.
Great performance, Mick, thank you. And I'm turning now to Packie Bonner, who's standing there drinking it all in. A marvellous, marvellous day for everybody.
Great day for the Irish, and I don't know, it makes you proud to be Irish on a day like this, and no matter what part of the world you are in, you can go and celebrate the day. We haven't qualified yet, but we're not far away now.
I know it's not really a time for a post-mortem immediately afterwards, but you did have a moment or two to scare you in the first half.
Yes, but I think every game holds moments like that, and we defended. They had a couple of chances, and I saved the first. I think Mick McCarthy saved the second, so that's what defending's all about, and it didn't go in the back of the net. We're delighted. We had a result, and the fans were absolutely brilliant, and you know, I'm going to wait to enjoy myself this evening. I'm
sure you are. Just wait for that result from Budapest, which should confirm things, but it's as good as there.
Yes, it's a moment for us all to treasure, and we've a great bunch of lads in there, and you know, they've fought every inch of the way, and I'm so proud. It's untalkable.
So summer holidays next year, Italy.
Well, yes, hopefully we'll get there, and it's an occasion for us all, and we'll give it our best shot, you know.
Packie, well done again on the day. Marvellous, marvellous performance. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, the gentleman of goalkeepers there, Packie Bonner. So goals by Ronnie Whelan, Tony Cascarino and Ray Houghton. A 3-0 victory for the Republic of Ireland, one of the best ever in competition. And does Italy beckon? Well, the Group 6 table is very favourable now to Ireland, because that win today puts them level with Spain on 10 points, but of course a game more played. That Spain-Hungary game coming later today, as you well know by now, and Ireland could be in by bedtime tonight. That's if there is bedtime for these Bedlam fans. To the 12 Irish players who played today, and very especially for those fans who supported them so well and so sportingly with good behaviour. It's been a very special day at Lansdowne Road. The final score again, the Republic of Ireland 3, Northern Ireland 0.